Hi, this is Todd, and today I want to talk about making labels. Specifically, we're going to be looking at making labels with Barcode Creator because that's where this has come up. Customers of our Barcode Creator tool are wanting to print labels and are having a little bit of difficulty, so we're going to cover that. And you know, there's some weirdness with labels, honestly, and how the wizards work, and so we're going to cover that and talk about what's a little weird and show how to get nice labels to print on Avery 5160 labels, or any kind of label for that matter. All right, so we can get rid of that, and let's just look at our demo file here. So these are just, I created these labels or these barcodes with Barcode Creator, and Barcode Creator, for those of you who don't know, doesn't require any special fonts, plugins, or no calls to web services. Doesn't require a connection to the internet or anything. It can generate barcodes with just pure, straight up FileMaker. And so that's what I did here. So I've got a bunch of them, and the goal is to get them onto a layout so they look like, let's look at layout mode. Looks like that. Move that out of the way a little bit. And so in preview mode, it looks like that. So that's what we're going for. So when we send that to the printer, those will print on Avery 5160 label sheets, and we'll get the nice, you know, the barcode number itself on top of the barcode. And so let's take a look at how that's done. So we want to, let's see, let's start here and go to layout mode. And we're going to use the wizard. And first, a couple of weird things on the wizard. One is labels. So first we're going to pick printers, click labels. We can also pick vertical labels. We're going to pick this kind. And we're going to do that. And we're going to choose Avery 5160s. There's dozens and dozens of barcodes you can choose from. We're just going to stick with the default there. Click next. And first weird thing is if you add the fields this way, it doesn't really help us much because these are merge fields. And let's just go ahead and finish. So if we look at what happens on the layout, you see that it puts the barcode number, which is great, but it puts the barcode image as it just puts a merge field, which doesn't do anything but show barcode.png, which is not very helpful. So we can get rid of that, and that's fine, and that'll work. Or we can just let's start over and skip that step. So we'll delete that layout. And start back from here. New layout. We'll call these Avery 5160s. We'll go printer, labels, and we'll click continue, and we'll just go next, and we will not put anything down here, and we'll just hit finish. So the first thing is that's going to leave us with some shrapnel here, some leftovers, an empty text block, which we don't need. That's where our merge fields would have gone had we entered them, so we get rid of that. Next little bit of weirdness is that if you try to use the field picker here and drag out barcode image onto our barcode image container field onto the layout, we're going to get this little dialog, and we don't want to mess up our layout, so we have to say no. So we can't use the field picker, and we'll just use the old-fashioned way and drag out our graphic barcode image. And we'll just drop that down. And you can see it's showing up already. Why? Well, that's because I've selected show sample data. And if I had turned that off, we would get that. We can make this, you know, as big as we want. Fill up the label space. Maybe just give it a little bit of margin. Something like that. That's good. Now, it's helpful to turn that sample data on so you can see. However, you're going to have some difficulty selecting and moving the layout. And that's because the barcode is transparent and a transparent background except where the black bars are, and you can't really click it very easily. So the thing to do is to select it and then give it some fill. Just give it a solid color of white, just like the background, and now we can drag it. That's another little strange thing when you're dealing with this. So next thing to point out, this is kind of interesting here. I'm going to bring the inspector over. notice that it's already come up with this red dot, which shouldn't have happened. It should be, I'm going to revert the change to styles. I don't know why it gave us that in the first place, but notice this. This is a default style, and there's no padding here. And what's odd is if we shift back to the list view and look at this guy, this is the default also, but it has padding. So it appears that there are different styles for for the same field. This is the same exact field on layouts that were created using the wizard versus not, which is just kind of odd. Something to notice that we have some differences going on here. Now, oh, I know why it reverted. It reverted because the default for this style has no fill, and that's why I can't select it. So the default for this has no padding, but if this same field is on another layout and you drag it and drop it, the default style for it will have padding, which is weird. So again, different styles for the same kind of field on layouts that were generated in different ways. So that's weird. So let's go back and let's give us some fill here like we did before. Oh, that's good. And so now I can drag it about easier. All right. So now what I want to do is stack the number field or our data field on top. We can actually use the field picker for that, or we should be able to, because it's small enough. We can just drag it on. Now we don't need the label. We can get rid of that. Whoops. There's my field. All right, so let's now put it where we want it. Now let's give it some fill so it shows up, and I'm just going to style it to the middle and centered, kinda. Let me bring the styler over here so you can see. We'll get rid of all these guys. And let's make it a little bigger. And oh, what the heck, we'll make it bold. So there it is. So that looks like it should be right. And in browse mode there, it looks right. But if I go to preview and print, it's not. What's up? Well, this is a new feature in FileMaker 13. Or it's the effects of a new feature in FileMaker 13, which is, not that one. I want, layout setup. This guy, delineate fields on current record only. No, we got to get rid of that. And now when we go to, whoops, that should have worked. Why did that not work? Oh, I didn't uncheck it. There we go. Uncheck it. And now when we go to preview mode, we'll get our labels exactly the way that we want. So that is a look at printing labels in general and barcodes specifically. And that's all I got. Thanks. Bye-bye.